started getting our phones or an iPad or something, and he would actually record himself, like, building Legos or playing a game or something like that. It'd just be a horrible video of him sitting there on the Switch playing a game or something. You could barely even see it. There's like food covering the camera and all that. So, but anyway, so he was doing that. He thought they were getting uploaded to YouTube. They obviously weren't. But anyways, once he turned 6 years old, I was like, all right, if you really want to do this, let's go in, do it all the way. And a couple of buddies of mine at that same time had been wanting me to do a podcast with them. And so I was like, man, if my son's going to be doing like YouTube videos, then I can do this podcast. So about the same time Hezekiah started legit doing YouTube, I started my Mostly Star Wars podcast with a couple buddies. And so we just basically talk all things Star Wars. But yeah, so that's kind of what I do on the side just for fun. But yeah, our main family passion right now is Hezekiah's channel. And so yeah, he's been doing like some unboxings. He eventually wants to do a lot more like game streaming, stuff like that. He does Lego builds. And yeah, now that I'm an OG ambassador with Hezekiah, we're going to be working some of those games into the mix, which is awesome because they're family-friendly games. Don't have to really worry too much about, what he's playing and stuff like that. But we kind of mentioned it earlier, but I do have to say, since I'm 100% a noob when it comes to content creation, my very first live stream with Hezekiah, my YouTube channel got banned because I didn't know that I had to be 100% visible with him, like since he's underage all the time. So I was literally right beside him. I was sitting here, he was sitting next to me. We have computer monitors right here, and I was basically like a quarter of me on there. For streaming for 10 minutes, it gets cut. I'm like, is it me? Is it OBS? Is it my capture card? Because this is like literally the first time I'm using all this stuff, and couldn't figure it out till I looked at the email, and they're like, yeah, like we're trying to protect like the abuse of underage children and stuff like that. So they banned me for a good week at least. I haven't checked now because I was like, you know what? Let's say screw this. I'm gonna just open a Twitch account. So I opened up a Twitch account and we've been streaming there. So I haven't tried streaming back on his YouTube yet, but I checked like a week later and it still said you can't go live. So I don't know how long I'm banned for or whatever. But
Twitch is the Wild West. You can get
Twitch. You can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
We can't actually talk about some of the things that would not get you banned, but just
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to keep talking about this situation. But yeah, so we've been having a blast doing live streams. I think he's done like 4 now. And yeah, it's been a blast. My last one last night, Lockleth jumped in there, so that was kind of cool. Getting to see like some friends that I knew, outside of Hezekiah's channel. So it was kind of cool to start seeing people come in and support him.
All right.
That's awesome.
Talk to me about how you said your son's 6, right?
Yeah.
How difficult is it trying to stream with someone that young?
I feel like the only issue with it is that you have no idea what they're going to say. It's 100% zero filter. They could talk about something going on like in our family life and me and my wife's marital life. You have no idea what they're going to say. So I think the majority of the time I've been streaming, I'm literally like, okay, like I'm starting to think, like chess, like 10 steps ahead, 10 moves ahead. Okay, if I say this, he's probably going to think this and say this. So I probably shouldn't say this because I know exactly what he's going to think and he's probably going to say live. So yeah, there's been definitely a couple of funny things that he said, but so far he hasn't got me in too much trouble. So
pro tip for that is stream on.
That's not what you said yesterday, Daddy. You're like,
Yeah.
You can stream on a delay. So if you stream on like a 15 or 20-second delay, you put like a kill switch. So that way, if he drops like some info you don't want, you just eat the stream, end it there. That part doesn't get captured, and then you just start the stream over.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I definitely need to think about that because that's why I'm always just anxious. Like, oh man, what's he gonna say next?
Did you have to have the conversation of like, okay, we don't, give out our address. We don't talk about the city we live in. Like, did you? Because when I started streaming on Twitch, I had to give that talk to my 30-year-old friends. I was like, you can't like talk about where we live, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
You
because
have to
no
have that
one can guess where
conversation.
you live by your accent. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's you got to figure out which borough of Boston I live in.
Jeez.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry,
I didn't
don't you know?
necessarily have like that full on conversation. Like, that probably is a good idea to talk about some of that stuff. But one thing that he does talk about a lot is Hezekiah. Like, if you guys have seen his channel, there's been so many people in the community that have spoiled him big time, sent him stuff, gave him stuff. And so he always wants to give back. He's constantly like, hey, like, it'll be anything. It'll be like, his used, Power A controller. And he's like, hey, can we give this away? Can I give this away to my friend? And, like, he's always constantly wanting to give things away. And so usually on stream, that's what ends up happening is he's like, oh, hey, like, can we give this game away? I'm like, hey, calm down. He's basically dropping these giveaways that aren't going to happen. He, after our first giveaway, we gave away a controller on his channel. Like, that was his first giveaway. Any console controller. And after that, I was like, okay, what do you want to give away next? And he's like, I was thinking probably like a PC.
Oh
Like
God.
like
Okay.
all the components, and they can just like build their own PC. I was like, no.
Snake
No,
in the-
okay, we gotta reel this back a little bit.
Yeah, I saw you got an Xbox Series S.
Yeah. That it blew my mind. It was one of those things where, I think anyone around our age definitely isn't gullible to like online fraud and scams and stuff like that. It's usually different generations. But like, I was like, when I first seen someone tweet about it, I was like, I know this guy. Like, he's been around the community. I've seen people talk to him. So like, I didn't know him well, but I knew he's been around for a long time. It wasn't just like a Smurf account or something. So I was like, this is kind of interesting. And so he was like, DM me. So I DM'd him. And as this stuff's kind of like going, I was waiting for something, like a ball to drop something. And then there started coming, I was in Hawaii at the time. And my wife and my kids were in Wyoming. And so I'm kind of like telling my wife, like, oh man, I don't know if this is real or not. It just kind of seems too good to be true. It's kind of crazy. And then like these, now I obviously 100% believe that all of these things were true, but it started seeming like excuses. Like, he's like, oh, like I can't send it like this week or something. Like, I have this work thing I have to do. Oh, okay. And then he was like, oh, you're in the US, I'm in Canada. So there's like, there's like the shipping issue.
We're so
and,
nice over here, and he's
Yeah.
not wrong. There is a shipping issue. It's terrible.
Yeah. And so then he was like, he was like, if you have to pay like import fees or something like that, would you pay them? And I was like, definitely. And then I started thinking about like all of those like frauds where they're like, you want a cruise, you just have to pay like the international water fee of $500, or whatever. And so then I'm like, and I was like, well, the fee wouldn't be till I receive it. So,
Correct.
I was like, yeah, I'm 100% cool with that. And then he's like, oh man, they don't have any in stock, like at my Target here. And then like, so then like
Target?
another week goes by.
Now that sounds fishy. There ain't no Target in Canada.
Okay, maybe it was Walmart.
Yeah, that
It
makes
was one of those box stores. So he's like, oh, there's none available at my local one. And then he was like, I heard that Amazon is doing some deals, like bundling. So then he was trying to do like Amazon and ship it to me, and Amazon Canada wouldn't let him ship it to like a US address. It says
Correct.
like, oh, if you're gonna buy that, whatever. So anyway, so then there's that, and just like time's like ticking, and I'm just like, is this really gonna happen? And anyways, then the very last thing, he was like, I'm going to the United States for work next week. And so he's like, maybe it's the easiest thing to do. I'm going down to Texas for work. I can buy this and I'll ship it to you from the US into the US. And so anyways, like by this time, I'm just like, if it comes, it comes. That's great, In the meantime, like, we've had a bunch of small talk. He's talking about his family, his wife, everything. I'm talking about mine. And, then by the end of this, I'm kind of thinking like, if he really was trying to get information, he got a decent chunk of information from me just about like my family, like the Hawaii and Wyoming thing. And, like obviously I gave my address because he was going to ship it to my house and stuff like that. So anyways, like when he finally was like, here's the tracking number and everything, I was like, oh man, like this is legit. And I still was like a little apprehensive until we got the box. And so it's funny because I filmed it live for Hezekiah's YouTube channel, right? Like the opening and everything. And like there was like a split second when he was like opening the box up that I was like, what if there's something like dangerous in here?
Yeah, well, it was really bad. Yeah,
like it could have been like anything.
Waba's having like a little like sweating here. He's just thinking PO box, PO box, PO box, PO box.
Yeah.
Mind you, mostly, you got sent something. Waba's been telling me he's going to be sending me something for almost 2 years now.
It's right over here. I can see it. It's safe.
My God, he bought a box of pasta for me last year. And it's literally almost been 2 years where he's been like, dude, this is coming. And then the cereal came out and he's like, oh, I'm gonna send you that. So see, people can send stuff from the United States to Canada.
It's weird because it just, I don't know. They asked me about
haven't I sent you things to your house?
Yeah.
Or your PO box?
You sent my mail receiving service.
Yes, your mail receiving service.
That's fancy. I need to get one of those.
They know my alias. I have to call up every day and say, hey, do you have anything for Waba? And they're like, what is that? I'm like, I just don't want to talk to you about it. But so you now have an Xbox because of that whole situation.
And yeah, so that's kind of another funny story. And I hate like taking up the floor here with you guys, but it is an interesting story because when the PS5 and the Series X and S came out, it was the first time ever that I was like, do I really want this console? Or both of them, because I usually would get PlayStation and Xbox and obviously Nintendo. But this was the first time that they came out when I had a really nice PC.
Nintendo. Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, I have kids.
So do I. And the Nintendo costs way too much money. It makes no sense.
Yeah. So I was like, we talked about this a little earlier, but after playing on my PC for, about a year, I was like, I feel like this is my preferred way to play games. I feel like, with the computer that I have and the monitor that I have, it's really like, for me, the most premium way to play. And so I was like, do I really need these consoles or not? And I was like, maybe I'll hold off. Maybe I'll wait for a sale. And then what happened? Nobody could get any of them. So then I was like, so that made it easier for me. I was like, I can't even get one really. And so, yeah, this whole time I've basically just been gaming either on my PC or on Stadia, rest in peace. Or I still had Xbox Gamepass Ultimate because I'd played it on, my PC or in the cloud. So, could play it on like tablets and things like that. And then, the Switch, my son, he's super into playing games now. So he's always like, will you play with me? He's at that age where he doesn't really like playing by himself. So even if it's a single player game, he's like, hey, Dad, do you want to play, Zelda Breath of the Wild with me? But what he means is, do you want to watch me play it? And so, I spend a ton of time just watching Hezekiah play games right now. And so I was like, I feel like I'm fine without these consoles. And obviously, I definitely get FOMO when someone's like, oh, man, Ragnarok on PlayStation 5 is so amazing, or, whatever it might be. Even on, Xbox, people are like, man, look at how great this plays, right from my living room on my 4K TV. And I was like, yeah, that would be pretty nice. But yeah, so I wasn't really planning on getting one. And so the fact that Hezekiah ended up winning one was amazing because he loves a ton of Game Pass games. There's a bunch of Game Pass games for kids. So
6 games from Outright Games on Game Pass there, people.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. And that was another great thing with Stadia and why he really loved it is because Outright Games had a bunch in their pro membership. So he would play a lot of Outright games basically in my $10 a month subscription. So we didn't even have to buy the games. They were just, already included. And so once again, it was like, man, this is so amazing. And the second I set this up, and obviously this is the Series S, this is like the poor boys series, right?
It's a
I'm
good
thinking
console.
it's
Don't knock it.
amazing.
It's an
That's
amazing
what I'm
console.
saying. I was not expecting how amazing it was. We sat there and we were playing like Unravel 2 as soon as we set that thing up, and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. And I was like, this is the Series S, and this thing is just fantastic. And so yeah, I was definitely thinking I should have got one of these a long time ago. But yeah, it's been a blast playing back in the living room, 2 player, which was a lot more difficult when we were trying to play like xCloud or something like that together. It's so much better just to play, couch co-op together, me and Hezekiah.
Baba, have you hit your goal yet?
Yeah,
Yes.
probably.
You have. Thank you, Pez. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So a little do you know, so like the Xbox Series S is actually we're doing a holiday guide, and it's my number one gift because first off, there's the holiday edition this year is even cheaper, and for consoles, it's the easiest into the market. Plus, the holiday edition for $25, you get Game Pass Ultimate for the year. For $25. That's it. You get Game Pass
Nice.
Ultimate for the year with the
Easy.
console. Look at Waba. He's like, first it's $50 off the bundle of the console, and it's
Mhm.
$25 just for Game Pass for the year. It's
Easy.
an amazing
Man.
deal. And the console is unbelievably phenomenal, and it's also so portable. Like we always talk about when
Yeah.
we have to, like, when you're going to Hawaii, you just bring
Mhm.
that thing with you and you have it wherever you go, and all you got to do is hook it up to the internet. You can play, you can stream games on it, and I know you're talking about the Stadia, but you're not going to get the streaming game people over here because the latency is just not good
Yeah.
for me. Especially if
Mhm.
you like, I tried to play, what was it? I was trying to review what was the game I was trying to review a game while I was on vacation once, and I tried to play it via the cloud, and it was painful. Psychonauts 2.
Mhm.
And it was painful.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. The game is just not playing well. So, but I want to get back to the Series S. It really is a game changer. It's like the perfect, everybody always talks about the Switch being the family console. I honestly think the Series S is the family console. It is portable, it doesn't have a portable screen like the Switch. But once you put Game Pass on it, it's the better deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I will agree. I will agree with that actually. Although, Hezekiah's like in love with so many of the first party Nintendo games and stuff. A lot of that is just
Poor
because
kid.
he has them.
Yeah, I
You know
get
what I
it. Poor
mean?
kid.
And so if he didn't, and like I'll say I go back and forth to Hawaii all the time, which is like a 10, 14-hour flight. And, having switches, we have a couple of switches has been amazing. Like
Mhm.
it's fantastic for those trips. But if I got that, what's it called, like a X screen or?
The portable the screen for the Xbox Series S. I've seen that.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
we
like
play at the
because
airport.
I thought they were like I thought that was fantastic. I think the first time I saw it, like Lord Cognito or something, like was
Yeah,
showing it off or something.
he's
And I was
showing
just
it
like,
with
man,
his
I want
pillow. With
that.
his
So
pillow. I love
yeah,
how
with his
Cog's always got
pillow.
that
Yeah,
giant pillow with him.
yeah.
Bit much.
And so I was
Bit
like,
much,
man,
Cog.
I want that thing, like hardcore. And anyways, and so now that I actually have a Series S, I was like, man, this is really tempting. Because I mean, taking that on the plane, that'd be fantastic, especially for 2 players. We could be sitting side by side with that on like two tray tables. Man.
So Waba, now I'm gonna ask you the question. And look, did you see that, Pez? He like gave the eyebrow raise
He
like he's
knew.
the Rock.
He knows.
When are you getting it?
I'm a struggling artist, man.
No,
What
that's
can I
not
say?
true. So
You
you had
had
a
a big goal
goal.
for it.
You had a goal for it. You hit the goal, and you still have yet to buy the console.
I reset the
And-
goal for a different stream. I forgot.
No, so it doesn't matter. You hit the goal, so that means technically you should be going out and at least wait. Black Friday, they have the holiday edition. You can go get it.
What am I legally obligated now? Like, what is this?
Pez,
I mean, you did say if you hit your goal, you would do it.
So it could be liable.
Fine.
And it's
Like I said, our
it's
lawyers are better.
we have evidence.
So
and think about wow. Now you'll be able to, like, if a game's on Game Pass, you're like, all right, I can just play it that way, and you could actually be in the conversation with me and Pez. I know
won't
it sounds
you miss
crazy.
me complaining?
Sorry.
Won't you miss me complaining?
No, actually,
weird.
I'll I really will I'll be happy. I don't have to hear you complain anymore.
That's weird. I think if there is a compelling,
It's
Black
$25
Friday
for the
probably would.
year. It's a holiday edition. I will send you the link. There is, and I know mostly Martinez because I put it in the Carpool Gaming Xbox Drive section because I was in shock when I saw it. I was like, first off,
Yeah.
you're telling me the console is $50 less, so it was like $329, I think, for the console.
Mhm.
And that $329 comes with Game Pass for the year for $25. I was like, what the? Game Pass Ultimate. That means you can play it on your phone, you can play it on a tablet, you can play it on a PC, you can play it anywhere you are, which does work, by the way. When I was in Florida, my daughter and I played Dreamlight Valley in the Magic Kingdom.
I'll have to see what I
Very
even want to
cool.
play on it. You know,
Well, first off, on Game Pass, your daughter and you could play Dreamlight Valley.
we already
Just
have that
saying.
on Switch.
Then, yeah, but you bought it for some weird reason. Then,
I wanted it.
our good friends at Outright Games put almost every game now comes to Game Pass. I'd say EA, but like, I'm so
Oh, that's right.
cool.
I am okay. Wait, 10 best anime games on Xbox Game Pass.
You know what you can play on the
Kingdom
Xbox?
Hearts. You can get you get 1,000% it.
The next Fallout game because it's not going to be on PlayStation.
Stars, and you could also play Starfield and yeah.
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
But that's the Indiana Jones game.
Yes, Indiana Jones.
You can play Grounded with me and get scared by the
Oh,
spiders.
I'm not playing Grounded. That game is horrifying.
Why did you do that, Pez?
So disgusting.
Close.
You can play.
You can also play Fallout 4 is coming back out with like the newer version. It will be on Game Pass.
I can just walk around Boston.
You don't. That means you have to leave your house. Hold on, Pez. He just said he would leave his house and walk.
I mean, to be fair, Boston in the winter does look like Boston in Fallout 4, so it's fine.
It's just not the nuclear winter part.
It's fine.
Well, maybe if there's a compelling price, I'll drive to New Hampshire and get it. It's fine.
Why can't you just like order it on Amazon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that not a 6.25% discount?
What's up, Queenie?
Boom. Boom.
They said hi. She's holding a lot of.
I know.
dumbbells.
I could see. She walked by. The green screen doesn't work because she was wearing a white shirt, so she was automatically in the shot the whole way.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
What are you gonna do?
So last bit about you and your son.
It's not a bit,
content.
Waba. It's not a bit.
Well, no, I said last little question I had for you is, where do you see it going? Obviously, this seems like a passion for him. It sounds like it's become a passion for you. What's like the not the end goal, but like, where do you want to take this, shared hobby of both of yours?
Yeah. I think for now, my wife, we obviously discussed it a ton, like if we were actually going to do it or not, and how long to wait until he could actually do it. And so I think right now it's definitely like 100%, we're doing it no matter what, just having a blast. Definitely trying to like give back. Anybody who supports Hezekiah obviously is going to like, that touches me big time as a parent because I'm super proud of Hezekiah. His work ethic. There's not a lot of 6-year-olds that's going to say, hey, let's sit down, have the attention span to film a video. And as anybody who films videos knows, it doesn't happen always on the first take. So we'll make like a 5-10 minute video and it's going to take all day long. So I mean, we're constantly like, we're going and like halfway through, if we make a mistake, we forget what we were going to say, something like that.
Use CapCut. First off, use CapCut. If you're doing it on your phone, I just saved you time and effort. Like, don't do what I did today and film a whole short. They say, I'm like, I'm going to do a short, film the whole short and figure out that my mic was off. And then it was just too little too late. But there's an app called CapCut that you can use for YouTube Shorts. But you can also use it for any video and you can edit on your phone. It's very, very, very simple to use. And it's very user-friendly. Pez, like it doesn't take that much time or to figure it out. And you can, as long as you're filming those videos on your phone, it can give you transitions. It's very good. It's very good.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to take a look at that because that's kind of where it's at right now. As far as like we're kind of just learning along the way. I basically kind of just got all of this stuff and I'm trying to plug it all in and make it work and stuff like that. But eventually, what our goal is like my wife and I is hopefully for it to be monetized, and then eventually like whatever we make, just put it back into like giveaways and things like that. We're not looking to make money on it per se, like ourselves. Just it's as long as Hezekiah wants to do it, as long as he's enjoying it, like we're definitely going to continue to do it. But we all know kids, like he could next month say like, oh, I don't really want to do that anymore, and like cool, that it is what it is. But yeah, so as of right now, as long as he's enjoying it, having a good time, loving it, I'm personally having a blast, obviously, because I love all this type of stuff. I'm not any good at it per se, but I love doing it all, and it's just been such a blast with my son. I tell everybody basically what it is we set aside time to have father-son time. Like we're making the time to like
Perfect.
have a good time together, and I mean, that's priceless.
Excellent. So we'll make sure to reshare. Well, what's your Twitch stream again? Now that we've talked about it, where can folks find both of you streaming together?
So on YouTube, it's Hezekiah's Toys and Games, just all spelled out. And then on Twitch, he's also Hezekiah's Toys and Games, all spelled out, just
How do you
like it
spell
is. So
We'll put in the link in the
okay.
comments. Put in the
Okay.
links.
Yeah,
In the description.
it's
Couple
a
links.
long
Come on
one.
now.
Yeah.
I have no
No,
idea.
I just make sure to share it so before we talk about other games, just because it's not. I mean, I'm going to be hanging out with you folks on Twitch, so I'm excited to get into it.
Waba's gonna
for
raid
sure.
you. That's what's about to happen. You realize that, right?
I'm going to send a bunch of hockey degenerates.
UG's gonna come in there and say things, and you're gonna be like, all right, boot this guy out. All right, this guy's too much.
Hey, I'm good with that. My wife and I are big hockey fans, and the two buddies that I do the Mostly Star Wars podcast with are also huge hockey fans. So yeah, I'm all about hockey degenerates. So
Yeah, as long as they're
I'm
not
fine
from
with
Montreal, we're fine.
so
Fact.
so they are Canucks fans.
Eh,
That's okay.
Condolences.
Hey, whoa. Hey,
Canucks.
whoa. Remember, family thing.
course.
I like the team. Let it
Yeah,
go.
we love him. We love the
Yeah.
Canucks,
All right.
but
we hate the Toronto Maple Leafs.
they're also they're not doing great.
They're dog poop. Hey, the
Yeah,
Canucks are actually doing terrible, but
Hashtag Bo Horvat to Boston when Bergeron leaves. I want that all
the
trending.
reason it's okay to like Vancouver is they are dog water, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If they were good, we would say no. It's not okay.
Speaking of
Caps and Sabres, that is just honestly, I just saw that in the chat, and I'm just like, Robbie Miller, Jesus, buddy,
Wow.
and you're an Orioles fan. You just like
Wow,
pain.
0 for 3.
He
Really,
just likes pain.
really
He just likes
whiffing.
pain.
Really
Speaking
He
of
just
whiffing.
is like,
pain.
hey, I like watching teams that don't win. Well, I guess the Caps won a cup. I'll give it to him.
Hey Court, speaking of pain,
Oh yeah,
you recently had played a game that we wanted to talk about, right?
yeah.
You have
I'm
an
just-
unpopular take on apparently a popular game.
yes.
Tell us
okay.
about Pentiment.
So, thanks to my friends over at Xbox Canada, I had a early copy of Pentiment, and this is the first game in a long time that when the reviews popped, I didn't feel the same way as everybody else. I'm not saying it's a bad game. Like, honestly, I'm really not, because I just don't think the game was for me. There's a thing in the game where it just has the scribble of text that goes across the screen, and it actually has a noise of like a pen to paper. I had to turn the sound off in the game because I couldn't hear it anymore, because I just felt it was just, I don't know, it was just a noise that was just ingrained in my brain that I was not enjoying at all. I felt the writing to be good. I thought the witty banter, like you can make some great comebacks. I just didn't think a story book as a video game, like literally, like you turn pages in this game. It is just not for me. I know. I honestly think Wabo, you probably like this game. And which is weird because I like Disco Elysium, but this just didn't jive with me, and it might be just the period piece, because I'm a big story driven person, but after 15 hours of playing this game, I really didn't want to finish it. I did, but I really didn't want to finish this game. It was the first game that I played in a long time that just didn't jive with me. It just wasn't a game for me. I'm not saying it's not a game for everybody else. The good news is this game is on Game Pass, because I really don't want to go too much into this game because how much it just didn't work for me. I did make a comment in my review. It's on Three Dads. As parents, we don't have the time in the world to play every game out there. So sometimes when a game is just not for me, I'm not going to give it the 3 hours, because this is one of the games where even people are saying in the reviews, you got to give it at least the first couple hours before it gets good. I can't play games that have to do that. It's like TV shows when someone's like, you got to watch the first 2 seasons. Yeah, so I'm not going to watch any of it. Okay. It's just, I don't have time for that. I don't have time
like
to,
anime. Jesus.
no, definitely don't
Come on,
like
you don't
anime.
have 30 hours to burn. Come on.
But that's just it. It didn't respect my time, I felt, and it just wasn't a game for me. But like I said, it's on Game Pass. Everybody else, just go try it. That's the best thing about Game Pass. I'll say this over and over again. And the developer even said if it wasn't for Game Pass, they probably never would have made the game. Obsidian, they said they knew the whole Game Pass, the way it works, and they're like, it's perfect for it. You can go in, hop in. If you don't like it, you like it. I actually think Pez will like this game, even though he didn't like it because of my review, and I think that doesn't help. But the way it's story driven only, and there's a lot of witty banter, and you get to make your character that way, and you can make your character pretty much like a dick. I think it's right up Pez's alley. But we'll see. It's just it wasn't for me. So if you want to play Pentiment, go right ahead. But if you like games like I do, like Robbie Bob Miller, I see you in the chat. Yeah, don't go play this game.
I loved your guys' review. So Pez, the editing was so funny because Court was just complaining about the pen and paper sound, and there was no background music. It was literally him complaining about it, and like the most pregnant pause of just the pen noise. I know it was intentional.
Yeah, it was intentional because it sound. Whenever we do our reviews, I will always have a section where it's just sound. Like my Gotham Knights one, it was Red Hood standing above the belfry because sound is very important in a game. Yes. So when Court's like, all you hear is this pen and paper scratch, I was like, all right, this is what it sounds like. This for the next 15 hours. This is what it sounds like.
And it's literally that's what it is. It's just
because I got I think Court sent me probably 15-20 minutes of footage, and I listened to it for, again, 15-20 minutes, and I was like, nope, I can't do this. And I was like, hey, everyone else is going to suffer, just like me. Yeah. A true millennial, they would say.
Like I said, this is not one of those games where I played games where Biomutant is a perfect example where I was just like, nope, this game is not good. Like the game is broken. Don't go play it. This game is not broken. The dialogue is good. The writing is very good in this game. It was just after a while, I was just like, I don't know what it is. I said this before when we were to someone else. I just finished God of War, which to me is my game of the year. And then I played this and I was like, yeah, I'm out. Like, nope, I don't got time for this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to play some Call of Duty or some NHL. I just wanted a mindless game. I didn't need to think anymore.
I think there's also I think review fatigue is real, right? So you're dumping all these hours into games and you're paying attention and you're writing things down and you're taking notes, and it's like, I just want to play something incredibly mindless and just shut my brain off. And you can't when you have to review something.
And Pentiment wasn't that. And I'm reviewing another game right now. It was like, I was like, oh, I'm out of the review season. I'm like, no. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. That reviewer will drop, by the way, on Friday on Three Dads and a Console with myself and Pez, as he asked me questions about Spider-Man Miles Morales on PC.
Ooh.
Yep.
Great big market tease. I'm playing the game, yeah.
What else have we been playing? Pez, you've recently got into a game that we all know and love.
Yeah, so I finally bit the bullet and bought NHL. Shout out to my man Clappy. I got NHL 23. Actually haven't really touched HUT at all. And have been playing a lot of eShow, and it's great, honestly. I've been playing with friends. We've been playing around with different builds. I went into HUT and immediately was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put the time in. After playing a ton of the show, after picking Madden back up and playing Madden again.
What?
Actually,
why were you? That Madden is terrible.
So, for some reason, I'm enjoying.
Oh, yeah, sorry. EA is amazing.
It's okay. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the Ultimate Team way more than I thought I would. And I think what it is so they do Team of the Week every Wednesday. You go in, you have 3 challenges. They're all super easy. You get your 89 plus random card. You get your 89 plus random card. You get your Team of the Week collectible, and then you get a random 85 player. So it's just a constant drip of it's like a constant player upgrade dopamine drip. So I went back to that, but like I jumped into Hut and I did squad battles, and I was like, I don't want to play against people online right now. And then I did some Hut Rush today, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. And then I go over and I play ones, and I've been enjoying the eShow part of it so far. So we'll see what happens. Noticeable changes in the game, like the desperation passes and desperation shots and saves, is awesome. And again, we're having fun playing 3s and 6s in eShow, so that's probably where I'll spend most of my time this year. Let's see what happens next year. But yeah, been enjoying it. Don't regret it yet.
Question for you, Pez, because this has been my take on this. As someone that enjoyed MLB The Show as much as I did, if they put the same dopamine drip, and you know what I'm talking about, programs, not this weird set thing. If they put programs in and made it no matter what you're playing eShow, whatever you're doing, as long as you were using your players, it all counted towards a pack progression, would you spend a lot more time in NHL?
Probably. Again, I don't. Basically, the way it's funneled in, and Waba, please correct me if I'm wrong, is you have 3 basic ways to get packs. That is squad battles, that is Hut Rush, and that is rivals.
But
And
they
then
all
champs.
don't count towards the same. They're all separate ways of
Correct.
getting
They're all
packs.
separate.
Okay.
But and then you get champs, which is kind of like a subset of rivals because you have to do so well that you qualify. If you don't want to do 1 or 2 of those, you're not really going to progress. Would you say that's correct?
I
You
would
say no.
No, I think it's fair. I mean, some people like I just want to play offline. They play squad battle. Oh, I just want to get my teeth kicked in by sweaty nerds.
Well, I even saw Waba when you put out like you couldn't find someone to play today, and I was just like, I truly think that as someone that loves his sports games, after getting into MLB The Show, Pez has tried to get me into this game, and I played it this year, and I'm like, oh my god, they hook you.
I mean,
Like they do such a good job of people spend a lot of money in this game, and I know that's what it's about, but you can still play the game, no money spent. I see other creators in the NHL community and a lot of EA game communities, and when they try to do the no money spent, I know you do it, Waba, but some of them I just don't believe because I just look at their teams and I'm like, nah, man, I know how much you play, Waba, and I know how much you put into the game, and then I see these no money spent players that have Makar or McDavid, they have like everybody, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way you're no money spent because the game doesn't reward you like that. There's no way. Like when you play MLB The Show, you can see the program and you're like, everything's obtainable. So everybody will have it. People can get there sooner than others, but they have what they do in MLB The Show is they pretty much have, it's almost like an offline mode, Pez? And then they have, if you want to be competitive, you can go play online with your team, but you can still build your team. You have mini seasons, and that's kind of what NHL kind of has mini seasons, but they keep resetting it because they have that league or whatever. What's it called? What's the mode called?
Champs, if you're a Hut chump.
Yeah, so you've got to play that, which is great, but like it's not the same. I just wish that if you played 3-on-3 or if you played any of these modes, they all count towards the same progression. And I understand there is the milestones and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, I look at the rewards on those and I'm just like, they're just coins. Most of the time, it's just hot garbage.
Well, also too, so with how much I play, so it's been a month. I got my first 86 overall in a pack.
Yeah.
So
again,
what I'm going to do, because those odds, I like math, I like data. I'm going to go through, recall what packs I got in which week. I'm going to find the odds for that pack. I will likely do this live on YouTube because Twitch doesn't have the attention span for this. And I will determine the odds of me not getting an 86 overall in those amount of packs until today. Because if it's not going to be a good look. Not that I should always be rewarded with a good card. That's not how these things work. But to open up this many packs with this much probability, this many times, because I play a lot, and I had the game like a full copy early, like days early, and then to get it, that it's got to be. I don't even want to estimate because I feel like it's still going to be too low.
But with the show, like I had the app, and I played. Pez has played. Robbie Bobby Miller, who's in the chat, he played. I could, on a weekly basis, one of us would at least pull a diamond, a good diamond. Like Pez, I would have pack luck for a week. When I pulled my Trout, I was having pack luck for a bit, and then there was a while for there. Pez was just Carlos Delgado. He was just pulling just gems, but
I am a gem.
we played and we got rewarded for playing and we got packs. So like you'd have each week, if you played the game, if you put 4 hours into MLB The Show a week, you're gonna have like 50 packs to open by the end of the week, and you're gonna get decent cards to build your team. So they're going to be like, here in the program, they're going to be like, there's 4 good diamonds to get. And then at the end of the year, they give you your 99s, and they'll have like different versions. So like for NHL, I look at it, I'm like, why can't they just have like the Gretzky program, the Lemieux or the Pittsburgh Penguin program, where you get like Kevin Stevens, Mario Lemieux, like you get all those icon players? Because in MLB The Show, the icon players, they just let you have them. There's like, here, you can have different versions because everybody wants to play with their players, but they don't give you the best version of that guy. If you want the best version of that guy, you've got to grind for it. But in NHL, I look at it, I'm like, I can't grind for this. I want Patrick Waugh as my goalie. I saw that he's an icon player, and I'm like, I looked at how I was going to get it. I was like, there's no way I could even get this unless
it's easy
I play
to get
online.
for free. You get one player in the new event, and then you play 450 games in 30 days. It's not that hard.
I got Timo Slaney, which I was nice of. That was cool. But we all only get to choose from that. Like when they do that in MLB The Show, they literally are like, here's the home run derby packs. You can get the best card where Pez got it. I didn't. I kept getting nothing. Manny Ramirez over and over again. But at least they gave me a chance. I feel in NHL, they're like, yeah, no. You either pay me money or you get nothing. And I don't know. I love hockey, and I just wish they would just someone else give them the NHL license. Let's give Sony Santa Monica Studios the NHL license.
I know you just Ragnarok, but like just scrap that. You had snow in your new game. It's kind of like hockey. So go just
you know what? Give Outright Games the develop. Give them the and we'll actually get a good hockey game.
He doesn't own the license.
Yeah, no one.
Just nobody else wants to make a game.
No one wants to make it. It costs too much.
So Outright could make an NHL game.
Also, they should.
Also, don't forget. Oh my God, Outright, bring back like Backyard Baseball. You guys remember that game? What a great game!
Ooh, wow, that would be really cool. Making it like what's it, Sandlot Gang? Or
don't forget why NHL probably had a low population today. A little indie game called Call of Duty Warzone and DMZ came out today. So I'm sure a ton of people I can tell you a ton of people were loaded in.
I have never deleted a game off my console so quickly because I didn't want that large file size on it.
God, I love that game. When I played today at 2:00 while it was definitely working, servers were fine, and I logged in at 6:30 before the show, and the servers were dog water. It was bad.
We're 1 subscriber away from 200.
Oof, sheesh.
Hey,
Martinez, are you a sports gamer?
I don't play very much sports games.
Good.
I don't know why. I
just
never really have. I start like the beginning. Yeah, I start like the beginning of all these, right? You know, like FIFA and stuff like that, because my wife's side of the family's super into soccer, right? Mm-hmm. So like a lot of times we'll start those, and like you said, I think the very beginning is really great, but then I just don't have that time to start grinding to be to have something good, like decent enough, and so then I end up just being like, okay, I'm gonna do something else.
The one thing I would wish EA did across all their sports games is cross-console progression.
Nah.
Because they don't. If I have NHL on PS5 and I have it on Xbox, it's its own separate ecosystem where my HUT teams don't carry over, my players don't carry over, nothing carries over, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
Be better with that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm playing a little indie game called Soccer Story, and I'll be reviewing it on the channel. Delightful is the one word I would say, and runs great on Steam Deck. I love that thing, man. I love that thing. Actually, I could play Pentiment on the Steam Deck in bed and wake up my wife with the paper scribbling.
Perfect game to put you to sleep. That's a great idea.
Oh man. So Martinez, what have you been playing outside of the Twitch YouTube sphere? What have you been enjoying?
Yeah. So I just been crazy busy, just in life in general. And So I haven't got like a ton of gaming in right now. And like I said, I'm getting back ready to be back in Hawaii. So living in two different states and that far away, like it takes like a month to prepare to move my family, over
Mhm.
to another house in another state, different climates here. Everybody, it's, -1 degree Fahrenheit here. And then over there, it's going to be like 85, 90. So it's like, oh, the clothes fit them, the beach clothes fit them. Now we haven't been there for 6 months and kids grow like weeds. So do we need like new clothes? And so, yeah, I just got a lot of stuff going on. And so like I have been, like I said, I play a ton of games with this guy. And usually it's predominantly Switch games. And like you said, like doing stuff then on stream and YouTube and everything. But then I have my time that I like to play with friends. And so usually playing with friends is like a battle royale. So either like Apex Legends, um, Warzone, something like that, where, we just get there, like you guys had kind of mentioned before, like kind of mindless fun, mostly catching up with friends and, shooting things at the same time. On my own, then I have that little time. And when I can slice something in, I definitely like to start working on my backlog. And most recently, I finally started Elden Ring. So I
Oof.
started Elden Ring, and yeah, it's actually pretty fun to play because basically, I'll just tell you, and maybe it's similar to everybody else. I get waken up by my kids around 5:30 a.m. and then we start kind of wandering around the house. My son homeschools, so we do like a kind of like a lazy breakfast. Then we do homeschooling. Then after that, we work on something, either house stuff or YouTube channel stuff, something like that. Then this past week we've been trying to like stream if we have the time to do that. And then after that, we do like the wind down for the kids, right? Getting them all to bed and stuff. And we're horrible with that because they don't have to get up early if they don't want to. They always do, but they don't really have to. So they'll stay up till midnight sometimes, whatever, just playing games or messing around, screaming, running around the house, something like that. As soon as we can get them to bed, then it's my wife and I's time to like watch our shows, have adult time, whatever, go get milk before 9 o'clock, whatever you want to call it. But then after that, then it's like my wife's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed. And that's like at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I have like 2 or 3 hours before my kids get up, so I can jump on and play some sort of game. It's like Xenoblade Chronicles before. Now I'm, like I said, starting Elden Ring. So then I just got the house to myself. I come in here, play some PC games, and just kind of be 100% sucked into the game. And then I can go lay down for 30 minutes before my kids get me up. But yeah, so that's what I'm playing right now for myself is Elden Ring. And it has been pretty brutal, I will say. Like everybody said, like it's pretty tough. And that's obviously up to everyone's opinion of what you consider tough to be. But yeah, like even like the first like training like enemies that you fought, I was just like, dang, like I'm dying a bunch, like even like the first ones. And so yeah, but it's been fun. It looks and plays beautiful on PC. And yeah, I've been loving, following along with the story, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
Awesome. Awesome. It's always funny because like one and again, I know Waba and Court can speak to this. Once you get into like the streaming content creation, you kind of lose that time to yourself to play games like offline. Because as
Mm-hmm.
the great Waba Plays once said, if it doesn't happen on Twitch, it doesn't happen.
That's very true.
So I always like to find out what creators are doing outside of the channel, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of that like doesn't happen anymore. Because it's that whole I gotta always be on and recording and making content. So
Mm-hmm.
just a question I always like to ask.
Yeah, I will say one thing. I will never play Pentiment. I watch like a few people's like, early reviews and like, people playing it and stuff like that. And I totally agree with what Court said earlier. It's like I do not have the time unless something like immediately from the trailers and what people are saying, I don't care about like scores, but like what actually people say about these games. If they're not like, if I'm not hearing things of the type of games I want to play, I just do not have the time, to do it, whether it's on Game Pass for free or not. Like I guarantee you I will never play that game or any game like it. It's not for me 100%.
Well, like
Peter
that's
says
that's the big thing about, and again, Court said it in the review. Gaming as a parent is like we don't have 13 hours on a Saturday just to sit down
Yeah.
and mindlessly jam away at whatever. Like those days are gone.
Yeah.
Way gone. So it's
Yeah,
like
no one has that many hours to play NHL.
you gotta only if you want a lobotomy. You gotta pick and choose. You gotta pick and choose what interests you, and if it doesn't, it's okay to put it down. Like, don't force yourself to play a game because people are like 10 out of 10, game of the year, best game you've ever played, and you get 3 hours into it, and you're like, I don't want to play this anymore.
So, speaking of amazing games, we're going to be giving away a game.
We sure are.
So, thanks to our friends over at Outright, all 4 of us, we're Outright ambassadors. They were awesome enough to give us a bunch of games that we're going to give away, 1 game a week. So every week on this show up until Christmas, we are going to give away. We're going to announce a winner, and we're going to DM that winner and let them know what is available. And then when it gets down to the end, the last person just gets whatever's left. It is what it is. But we've got a bunch of amazing games. Pez, what's the list of the games we got, bud?
You put me on the spot. I don't know.
All right, hold on. I'll pull it out. Jeez, look at that.
You put me on the
asked
spot.
you a question. I put you on a spot. It wasn't even a hard spot. Just give me 1 sec.
Premium and
we
Diamond Ambassador.
We have one of my daughter's favorite games right now. That she plays on the Switch. So whenever we're in the car, this is what she plays. It's LOL Surprise. We have a great game that Waba plays with his daughter. It's Coco Melon. We have a copy of Star Trek also on the Switch. And then we have DreamWorks Dragons, which will be on Xbox. I'll tell you this right now. Game is not easy, but it does reward you for playing. And then we have Paw Patrol Grand Prix on PS5. And then we have a copy of JoJo on Xbox, which my daughter is actually enjoying right now.
When you told me that, I thought it was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like an anime game. And I'm like, why would they get a title like that? No, it's JoJo.
Mind you, my daughter's favorite game right now, that her go-to is Bratz. Like, it's her go-to game right now, which is also done by Outright, which will quite, spoiler alert, probably on my Christmas list there for everybody. Yes, JoJo Siwa, Robbie Biller.
So, Pez, are we selecting a winner tonight or today? Right now?
So I did. Yep. So
in this economy, you've already selected one.
Yep. I have our spreadsheet going. So I put a number into the random number generator, and the winner is at Tomato Pika on Twitter. So I will be DMing them tomorrow. If you're listening to this or you're watching this live on youtube.com/3dads-on-console and you want to get in on this, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. We're looking for number 200 as of I say this.
Like Scripture 199.
We are take a picture of that subscription, tweet it to us at 3dadspod on Twitter. You'll be automatically entered. So Tomato Pika, thank you so much for your subscription, and I will be DMing you, and I hope you enjoy your next Outright Classic.
Good pickup. I wonder what they pick. We can share that next week.
For sure.
Which one's off the board?
Oh yeah, we'll announce on Twitter the winner. Bratz is very good. Like, very good. Bratz is a very good game. Like, my daughter is just nonstop playing it, and there's just a lot of the one thing I've said this before about it, right? They make games that will give our kids confidence, and I'm sure mostly Martinez, you see it with your son. It's just like you can actually see the progression. It's not like the kids games that we grew up with that just beat the living daylights out of us.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of replayability. And you know what? There's DLC. They had DLC for PJ Masks. They had DLC for Peppa Pig. And everybody out there, tweet at Outright Games and let's bully them into making a Bluey game. All right?
Yes.
We all want a Bluey game. That's what everybody wants.
If they make a Bluey game, like I'm not being hyperbolic. Like, that game will do numbers. There are so many people that might not even care about games, like that will like get like Outright will make so much money. Granted, it's going to be Australian money, but they'll make so much money.
Martinez is looking for a Bluey toy right now.
It's like, I guarantee you, I have one that I can reach from
Buddy,
here.
buddy, we all
I gotta be.
we all have them.
It's going to crush. I mean, look, this is how much we like Bluey. Look at my face.
That's Peppa Pig.
She's right here.
That's Peppa Pig.
Oh, shout out Peppa. Oh,
Peppa's
Peppa's
good
so
too.
good.
I saw the Peppa mobile there.
Yeah.
But a Bluey game would be unreal. And if they make that happen, the internet will
How about
explode
this?
on itself.
I guarantee you, if there's a Bluey game, Wabba will stream it.
I would absolutely stream it. All the NHL people showing up being like, all right, like what's new in packs, what's content at 5. I'm like, I do not care. You are going to watch me play this game about Australian dogs. Instead, this man right here, you might not like it, but this is the epitome of peak male performance. And that is, God, dude, those Bluey streams would be so lit. Oh my gosh. I'm authentically excited about this. Hey, outright, you've heard my plea.
Actually, when we did our Bluey season 1 in review, we got both the Wabbas on one show.
That's right. The my wife actually has strong opinions about Bluey. My daughter
She was
loves
like, I am on the show. You know what? If we can get, actually, we're gonna get your wife to do a review of a game because it's coming out soon. Midnight Suns is coming, and I know you're getting it for her. When she's done, I want her on the show to review it because her of all people will give the best review of that game because she knows the characters.
She'll have to watch me because I don't think she'll do well with the card mechanic, much like probably a lot of people.
Yeah.
But she has been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley though. That's a game that she actually likes.
I love playing that game with my daughter. It's so much fun. But it's on Game Pass, by the way.
I will look into this bundle.
Yeah, you should.
It's
It's right up your alley.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. I'll check New Hampshire.
The Wabba stream.
I'll unbox it and you guys can watch me drop it on the floor by mistake. Also, does Warzone take up the whole hard drive of the S?
Yes.
You can't play it on. Can you play it on an S?
No.
Or is that the only game you can get on it?
Yeah, that was a sad thing. I haven't downloaded that on the Series S.
There's
so
no way you can.
yeah.
There's no way you can play Warzone.
But I will tell you, I had a Western Digital Black, like 4 terabyte hard drive that I had for my Xbox One, and so I was like, oh great, I'll just use this, and I already got my storage. It's Western Digital Black, like it's good, it should be fine to play. Anyways, plugged it in. Yeah, sure enough, says it's not fast enough. So it's like most games, like any game
has to be an SSD.
Yeah. If it says what does it say? Like if it's series optimized or something, then you can't put it on anything except SSD.
Any external drive that's an SSD will work with the Xbox consoles. But I have I'm not moving things, but I have you can get the 0.5 terabyte memory stick, as they're called.
The Seagate one.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I got it on sale. That's
Yeah,
disgraceful from them.
I may or may not have had to buy a 1 terabyte SSD for my PlayStation, almost exclusively for Warzone.
I just abstain from playing that game. I'm not going to let them hold me in my console.
I mean, I don't care. I'm playing the Call of Duty campaign right now. That's
all I want.
I played. I did try the multiplayer today, and I got yeeted real quick, and I was like, I'm never trying this again.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be. Shout out our friend Dapper Tux. He was doing a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 giveaway from his friends at Activision, and I won one. So I'm gonna be playing Modern Warfare thanks to Dapper. I want to give him a shout out. So that's
Dapper.
I'll give him a shout out because I won one from him too.
Nani?
He's giving them out like hotcakes. Like it seems like he's always giving one away.
Pez is just looking at it. He's like, honestly, I feel like Pez is the gefilte fish of the show.
Shambles right now.
I'm just the black hole of the show. That's all.
I don't know.
You guys are winning things. You guys are getting followed by global PlayStation people, and I'm just here. Doing the thing.
Hey, you're part of the OG. You're part of the outright game.
I know that's. You know what? And that's fine. This
isn't supposed to be Pez cast. I actually tweeted to him today. Someone posted a picture of a sewer. This says Boston sewer, and I go, "Hey, Pez, it's you."
Unprompted. Freaking 8 a.m. I'm drinking my coffee, and I get called a freaking Boston sewer. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the verbal abuse that I take, but I do it because I love just being here with these two degens.
This is my best tweet all year. Just someone was like, "Hey, did you know that they take confiscated guns and melt them down to make manual numbers?" Sing it as you're a Boston sewer.
Oh, Boston
I'm
sewer.
about
Yes,
that.
Bobby, I do go to PAX East.
Hey, guess who might be going to PAX East as well, as long as he can make it off. This guy right here.
Yeah, I can't wait for that show. If you're able to, I mean, we'll do PAX East content, PAX East show. I have a GoPro. We're gonna be. It's gonna be nuts. I can't wait.
It'd be lit, as the kids say.
Any final thoughts from folks?
No, I've got to go to the grocery store and go
You
get
gotta
some
get
milk.
milk.
My final thought is Gotham Knights
fun-
is
Yep.
better as you play it.
MostlyMartinez, any final shout outs from you? Where can folks hang out with
It's
you?
not fair that you said that, but anyways,
But-
continue.
Where can folks hang out with you when you're not hanging out with us?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter in the reverse of my name, so it's Martinez Mostly. And we don't have time to explain why I can't get Martinez Mostly, but it frustrates me and angers me. But anyway, so it's Martinez Mostly on Twitter. And yeah, like we had mentioned before, Hezekiah, his channel, Hezekiah's Toys and Games, that's YouTube, and him on Twitch as well. And then, yeah, for me and my buddies, talk about Star Wars. If you're into that, then it is mostly Star Wars on YouTube.
So there's a link tree we'll make sure to put in the description. I already stalked your profile.
Jesus.
Nice.
I want to find the Twitch channel. I want to make sure to hang out with them. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, we're doing an outright games.
Pez?
I'm just
Man's good at
diligent.
what he does.
For once. If you want to win an outright
You know what?
games,
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him for once.
go make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You could be number 200. What will you get? We'll shout you out next channel or next episode. But make sure to send us a picture at 3dadspod, post it in the thread, or just message it to us. That's totally fine. Make sure just we get it, and we will make sure to add you for the next 5 weeks. Also, again, go check out the YouTube. Check out our other videos. We have a bunch of reviews coming up. You said Miles Morales
Friday,
coming out
doing it.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
And we're going to have a lot of other content coming out soon. Make sure to check out our shorts. They're always awesome. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And we'll see you in the next episode.